Okay, here we go. We're going to go live.
Awesome. Hello, if you are just joining us, welcome to Elk Grove Empower Hour. I am Laura, I'm the branch manager, and welcome. We are so happy to have you here. You have missed part of the meeting, so if you would like to join us in the future, we meet on the third Wednesday at 12 noon, currently on Zoom like so many other things. Feel free to check out our Facebook page, Empower Hour, or check out our webpage at empowerhour.net for more information and to join us in the future. Today's speaker is Allyson. She is the founder of Allyson Senior Solutions, a senior placement agency that serves seniors and their families in the Greater Sacramento Area. They locate senior housing in independent assisted living, memory care, board care, and care communities. So Allyson has been able to combine marketing skills, her passion and love of seniors, and life experiences to really support this community and create a great amount of success in making families feel supported, but also filling up her own passion cup and joy. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Allyson to the stage and give you some time to educate, inform, uplift, and inspire us.
Okay, thank you so much, Laura. And I just want to say welcome to all you Empower Hour ladies. You give me so much inspiration, and seeing all your lovely faces here today, it's wonderful. And thank you again for having me. I especially want to thank Stephanie. She helped me get my presentation ready. She answered a lot of questions. She was always quick to respond with things that I had questions about. So I want to thank you, Stephanie, for that. It sounds like within a you're so busy right now and you're able to do everything you're able to do. And a couple other shout outs that I want to give to these Empower Hour ladies, and one of them is Erin. I met Erin at a time in my life where I was completely starting over in my life. I had moved from the Bay Area to Folsom about 1.5 years ago, and I attended Erin's confidence workshop, and not knowing what I was, like I said, what I was going to do with my life. And Tara Jarvis was my life coach at the time, and she is also an Empower Hour lady, and she said, you need to go to Erin's workshop. So I went, and just going there and being a part of that workshop was what I learned from that was that I already had the experience, I already had the tools to become an entrepreneur and start my own company. But you need to have the confidence to do that. And she helped me tap into that confidence. And once I tapped into that, I could believe in myself. And that's what Erin did for me with that workshop. And I was telling Erin, it's just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. You know, all she had to do was click her heels 3 times. And she always had the power within herself to believe in herself. But sometimes you just need to be able to tap into that. And I really appreciate Erin for being there that day. And that's how I came to be the company that I founded called Allyson Senior Solutions, because my passion is helping seniors. My background is I'm in the was in the nonprofit space for many years as a development director, raising money for the American Diabetes Association. And I knew I needed something different to do. And so, but seniors has always been something I believed in because my father suffers from vascular dementia. And I have 5 siblings, and we all had to work together to help my father to get the tools that he needed to be able to have a life where he could live. But he needed support to be able to do that. So that's where I can come in and help when times are so tough. So today my topic it's called the Silver Tsunami. And the reason I'm calling my topic the Silver Tsunami is because in 10 years, there will be more people using walkers and in wheelchairs than in strollers. Every single minute, 7 people are turning 65. And every day for the next decade, thousands of baby boomers, those people that are born between 1946 and 1964, will be living longer than past generations. So that's why we call this the silver tsunami. For those that, I believe Rose is in the senior industry, you're very well aware of those statistics and what is going to be happening. And we're honestly not ready in a lot of ways. People don't even understand that this is really going to be a big deal, mainly just because of Medicare and because people are going to need to find places to live, and also the cost of that too can be very expensive as well. So my role is to help negotiate with boarding cares and communities to help people find the best quality of care while it also fits their needs and their budget. So when people, like I said, they are in crisis. And so I'm able to work with the family members. A lot of people in the family can be in denial. So as one person says dad or mom doesn't need to go live into an assisted living community, there's other people in the family just that they just do not want to just not enough money, or there's also people that really resist it and have they've heard negative things about moving into assisted living communities and such. So my job is to let people understand that this could be a very good place for your mother or your father. They will thrive. They're being better taken care of than they would be at home. So that's my job, is help them, is to ease those bumps and help them get the confidence that they need, help navigate them, help guide them. And then they feel good, and not to feel guilty about the things about putting their mother or their father into a care home. And once they get past that, and I can help guide them through that, then the decision is made, and then they can relax. And then they know that, and they start to trust me, because I talk about my experiences as well. And it really helps to have those supported people in place. And people always say to me, I wish that you were here. My grandmother needed help, or my uncle, or because what I'm also able to provide is, I know this is in the industry that have good quality of care. And I check the social services website. I look for citations. I read the summary from the unannounced visits. And so that the family can rest assured that this is a safe environment that they are placing their loved one in. And they're not just given a list and say, here, go to it. A lot of time, because families, when you are trying to find a good quality place for your loved ones, because they have other responsibilities. So during another thing is, we've had to really pivot in our industry because we're not allowed in senior living communities, and it's a thing to do. The senior living communities will most likely be the very last place that open up, and could last for the next couple of years. We just don't know that, but our industry has really had to make adjustments to make sure that we do keep our seniors safe. And one of the ways we're able to do that is that we host Zoom meetings with our families, and then we provide virtual tours with the administrators of the care home and the larger communities, and they're able to see where their mom and dad, the room that they're going to be placed in, and be able to ask those questions. And Zoom has just been wonderful, because to try and get 5 family members all together at one time, someone's always late when you're meeting in person, and it's really, really helped. Thank goodness for Zoom. That's all I have to say. And it's been really helpful with that. And like, again, it has saved them a lot of time. So I'm going to go into a little bit about the different types of senior living communities, because there's definitely there's lots of differences, and there is a confusion out there. So I'm going to start with independent living. And independent living is when it's when a senior wants to live at home, can do all the other own activities of daily living, such as they can feed themselves, they can take a shower by themselves, take a bath by themselves, they can cook, they can do they can pretty much do everything they can, but they want the amenities of living in an independent living community, where their laundry is done for them, their meals are cooked for them, and their social activities. And that's the biggest biggest great thing about independent is that there's people there their age, and they can bingo, and they can play all the different games. There's arts and crafts, because isolation is a killer. It definitely creates depression. It creates anxiety for our seniors. So that's why I say people, it's not a bad thing if they want to move them into an independent living. And sometimes seniors go kicking and screaming, but once they're there, they're so happy. And that's what I love to see, is that transformation when they realize that this was a good thing. Because I realized after living in your house for 50 years how difficult it's definitely difficult, and nobody likes change, and especially seniors. So a good place to start is independent living. But as time goes on, their level of care begins to increase. At some point, they're not able to get out of bed by themselves. They need help going to the bathroom. They need help getting dressed. And it starts to, increase. And so it's nice when you have at an independent living where they have the option to age in place where that's concerned. They don't have to move again. And I always try to have people to think ahead, that be in a place where as time goes on, you're able to get the services that you need. Because it's never a good thing to keep moving seniors from one place to the next. It definitely creates so much disruption, and it's not good for their health at all. So when I'm talking with the families, and maybe there has been a diagnosis of something where they know eventually the diagnosis is going to start to present itself, well, we need to be looking ahead. We need to be thinking about that. So I'm always, that's where I can really help the families and do that, figure out the best place for their senior. And so that's called assisted living, when they do help you with what they call your activities of daily living. And then the next different type of community is memory care. And that is when somebody has been diagnosed with either Alzheimer's or dementia, and they're finding they cannot live at home, either because they're wandering, they're leaving the stove on, they're doing things that could be a complete risk to their health. So memory care is a great place, because they do provide structured activities, and they do help your cognitive skills not to decline, but to help keep them in place, or even to improve their cognitive skills. And there's always new research being done to help people with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. And instead of staying at home, there's activities in place that help them with that. Even like with Parkinson's, I was at a community recently where they have these really heavy utensils. So when you have Parkinson's, you tend to shake. And this place, it was amazing. You pick up these, and they're really heavy, but they can feed themselves still, so they're not shaking. And it gives them, at least they can still feed themselves at some point. But if you're shaking and you can't feed yourself, then somebody's got to do it for you. So the point is to always try to get people to still be as independent as possible, and do the things that they can do, because that just develops their self-esteem and their confidence, and to help them, just to be engaged as much as possible. And that's another thing that I'm really big on, is in being engaged in your life, and till the very end, any possible way. I'm not an advocate for people that I find here, their moms or dads just would be an advocate for just laying in their bed all day long and not getting up and engaging them, because that's just a recipe for someone that is just doesn't have any hope and doesn't have anything to look forward to. One of the things they do say about seniors is that gardening is a great way to keep them looking forward and give them hope in their life, because they're looking forward to the next season. So you will see independent living communities and assisted living communities having a garden, because it gives them hope. Oh, now I'm going to plant my petunias, for the next year and such. And also pets. Pets are amazing companions for seniors. So more and more communities are allowing pets to be there, to live with them, and also to allow them to, their pets to come in. So everybody needs to feel, as we talked about earlier on this call, and that's what I'm an advocate for, is for seniors, to keep them completely engaged. The next community I want to talk about is called a senior living, a skilled nursing facility. In our industry, we call that a SNF. And so if you hear me saying SNF, I'm referring to that. It's also called a nursing home. So they're synonymous, they mean the same thing, but now we're starting to say, we are saying skilled nursing facilities. And that's a facility where people go to rehab if they broke their hip. They get discharged from the hospital, and then they can have rehab, have physical therapy come in, or they've had a stroke and they'd help with their speech therapy, and it's just for a short amount of time. And then the whole point is to get to rehab, and then they can go home. But sometimes a doctor will say they can't go home. There's still a fall risk. They can't, so that's where the family will say, oh my goodness, mom or dad can't go home. We need to find a place so they can be safe. So that does happen quite frequently. And as well, and within skilled nursing facilities, there's the long-term care part of it, where Cal can come in and take care if they can't afford to go into a home. Medi-Cal will take care of you in a long-term care facility. And then but it's not, there's so much negative comments in the media about skilled nursing facilities, especially during COVID, and that's understandable. They're doing the best that they can, but I know they do have COVID units where everybody's being quarantined. If there is an outbreak, they absolutely do the best that they can to make sure that does not spread to the rest of the community. So that's a skilled nursing facility. And I'll just stop there, because I always like to stop and let people ask questions. I know I've given you a lot of information at this point. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know, or feel free to interrupt me, and then we can, but I'll just keep moving along if nobody has any questions.
I do have a quick question. During COVID, we were discussing this in my home. It would seem like the decision, like if you need to place a parent or a loved one, that seems like a really, really difficult decision during this period of time. Were there facilities that just weren't accepting people, or what did you notice as far as connecting people to those services? Did that change significantly during this period of time for you?
It did in the beginning. People were not placing in communities only if they absolutely had to, because they were scared, and that was completely understandable. So in the beginning of the pandemic, definitely things were slowing down. People were staying at home. They were hiring in-home caregiving to come in, but that's a very expensive way to go. It could be up to $32 an hour for in-home care. So now what we're seeing is people are now moving their loved ones into into care homes and communities. And the best part is now that there's window visits, and because the worst part, what was happening, they couldn't see their loved ones. And now we know we cannot continue to do that. And that was the biggest reason why too, they would not move them in. Not that they were worried about COVID, they were worried, I can't see my mom or my dad. But now there are things being put in place now where people can see their level, like window visits. They're using Alexa at some communities where you sit. They don't have to hold the phone. You don't have to hold the phone, but they have Alexa with them and they can hear it. It's that whole technology thing, but I know technology is a great thing right now. And that's what they're utilizing, is technology in the communities to help with that. But people, they need to, it doesn't stop, if you cannot live at home by yourself, then that's where I come in, like I said, to help them. And you're safer. And there is the concern, oh, they could be exposed to COVID. You're much safer being in a care home in a community, because they do not allow public in, I cannot go into communities right now. But if they're living at home, and they have the grandson or granddaughter just went to a big party, but I'm going to go visit grandma in their home, and there's nobody making sure that, that's where the real exposure can come in. It can happen just like that. So I tell people you're safer actually being in a care home, because they are following those rules that are set forth by the state, and they're all following CDC guidelines.
I was just going to make a comment, Allyson. I appreciate everything that you're saying. I've been caregiving for my mom. She has Parkinson's disease, and I started that back in 2009. I have her and my dad at the Saratoga Senior Apartments, which it's not a care home, but we're there a couple hours every day and check on them. I went over there this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Oh, we're surprised you're here with the smoke." And I'm like, "Well, I have my mask on and I just said, I just wanted to make sure you guys are okay." And,
Good.
and my dad went kicking and screaming over there, trust me, like you said. But I'm like, Dad, if you're 55 or above, you're good to go. And it takes like 3 years to get in there. And we were able to get them in. This was like probably 5 years ago. But it's
good.
great. It's a great little community. And there's a lot of resources out there. So anyway, my heart, thank you so much for giving us this information.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope it's being helpful for everybody. So just to give you a little bit more about the things that I'm doing within this industry is I'm a board member of the National Placement Referral Alliance. It's NPRA, and what we do is that we make sure that we uphold, we have our ethics, and we do best practices that seniors are. And their health and their safety are the number one concern for us. And we have topics, we have guest speakers come in and talk about the different facets of the senior industry. But the thing is, it's a placement agency, because there are a lot of placement agents out there that just are not doing the right thing. I've never met one, but I've heard that they're out there, and it can happen. So it's something that I'm really proud to be a part of this organization. So I just want to let you know that, and anybody's always welcome to come and listen, be a guest, and I can share that information as well. Also, I just started my own podcast. Podcast. It's called The Caring Quail. And the reason why it's called The Caring Quail is that a quail is part of my logo, but a quail is a symbol of family. And I just started it. It's on my website at Allyson Senior Solutions. You can listen to them. The first one is about my story, my what, my why, what I do, and then my latest podcast was a guest speaker talking about electronic caregiving and helping people that they have if they fall, which falling is the number one issue for seniors. Is falling, and the average time that a senior that is living at home that falls, that they're laying on the ground, is 18 hours. And it's so the woman I had, her name's Dot Boyd, and she sells these really cute little watches. They don't look like the Life Alert, that you see on the commercials, like they're really, you would never know it. It looks like it's a cute little watch. And if you fall, all you do is got to press a button, and 911 will come and help you. So it's those types of topics that I don't think people realize. There's so many resources out there and mainly resources for seniors, and that's what I want to provide too. Is I want people to know what is out there for them that they could utilize and take advantage of. So if you have some time, the first one was 5 minutes, the second one is 20 minutes. They're only going to be 20 minutes long each time I do one. But I'm really proud of it, and it's something I'm giving back to the community. And that is my presentation for today. If anybody has any questions, ask me some more, but I am so thrilled to be a part of this. And it's just so exciting. And being a woman, being an entrepreneur, I hope that I could be an example, to other women. My daughter, she sees what I'm doing, and I would love for her to just to follow in those kind of footsteps, whatever that is.
Allyson, thank you so much for sharing this information with us today. I think for myself, when I think about aging and thinking about getting to that place where my normal daily activities are not as easy as they are right now, I think for myself, it's fear, right? It's the fear of that change. It's the unknown, what lies on the other side of that. And I can just tell from your heart in what you shared today that you must set people at ease. Like working with you and getting somebody placed that you love, I think would just be such a heartwarming experience. So
thank you.
Your heart from today. I mean, certainly the information as well, but I'd love to open it up if anybody else has questions, comments, feedback. Bounce off of mute and let's hear it.
Allyson,
is Rosa.
Uh-huh.
And I would love to follow up in the community. We work with referral agencies. And definitely, the highlights that you mentioned is the care. Families need to make sure that they place the ones in a community that is going to deliver what they promise. And that's very important. So I would definitely would like to follow up and be part of your network of referral in Vacaville and help.
Great. I would love to too. Definitely expand out. I would love to expand out to Vacaville. I probably should I should say my business page or my Facebook page is Allyson Senior Solutions, and you'll find that on Facebook as well. That's the same as my website, as well as Allyson Senior Solutions. So definitely, Rose, I'd love to connect with you after this, do a one-on-one, hear more about what you're doing, and see if I can help you in your area as well, because I don't have to stay just in the Greater Sacramento area.
Yeah, is that
fantastic? Good job.
Do you hold a license for that to work certain areas, or can you do whatever? Okay.
That's why I'm part of the National Placement Referral Alliance, because placement agents are not regulated right now. So it's very important that, you know, we do the right thing in taking care of our seniors, because it's not regulated at the moment. And it could be. I know in Arizona, placement agents are regulated, and it's a movement, because, you know, things could happen out there if you get with the wrong placement agent. And the biggest thing that happens is that they'll put you in a place they know that you're not going to last at, like, oh, there's no way we could live here. And so then they take them to another place and another place, and they keep moving seniors, and then they keep getting the referral fees. And that's just not the right way to go about it at all.
So to elaborate, when you mentioned about the referral fee, you know, agencies like Allyson.
I'm having a tough time hearing you, Rosa. Is anybody else having a tough time?
Yeah, I was trying to text you, Rosa, to tell you, but yeah, it's just cutting in and out. Sorry.
Maybe if you can put it in the chat, that'd be helpful. Then I can get back to you about your questions, and even, you know, online or at an email as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much, because it takes a lot to do all of this. And I know, probably because I'm going through it right now. I didn't want to add that to my everything, all the hats I wear, but I've been doing that, and I'm glad and blessed that I can. And hopefully my two grown daughters that are 25 and 33 will think of mom later.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, I'll be 50, but
right.
Thinking about it now.
Yeah.
They're only 6 years old, but
yeah, it's very important. It gets you start thinking about who you want to be, you know, be as your power of attorney, having your advanced healthcare directive in place. It's so important for the families, because so many times I've worked with families where the mom, I didn't give them any direction on what to do. And that even adds so much more to the anxiety. So I've learned a lot about that, even myself personally. About my daughter always asks, Mom, why are you always talking about this stuff? Because it's very important. You will thank me later. You know, but the older generations, they just did not want to talk about having a will or how they want things done. And it's makes things so much harder on the families. So that's what, and so I have referrals in the industry where someone says, oh, I need an estate planner. Great. You know, this is someone I can refer you to help you with that. And I have questions about, what does a power of attorney mean? What is a springing? There's a difference between a power of attorney and a springing power of attorney. There's just so much to learn. And then when things are happening in crisis, you can't really retain the information, and then you're just overreacting, and you cannot. It's so hard to see people just so distraught, and it doesn't have to be that way. So something to always be thinking about for all of us. You know, get your plans in place. Do your family a favor. Yeah, you never know. My mom actually was 47. She's my dad's wife, my stepmom. I call her my bonus mom. She got Parkinson's disease at the age of 47, and I'm 49. Goodness. Yeah, and she's 71 right now, but she's still going strong. I'm just like, wow. But you never know. We need to be planning now, like you said. Thank you.
Yeah, this was eye-opening. So Rosa's looking for your contact information. Allyson, if you would
Okay.
put that in the
Sure.
chat for everybody, that would be awesome. And then I typed in the name for her Facebook, Allyson Seniors Solutions. Thank you so much for being a part of today's meeting. Just a joy and certainly eye-opening, right? All the planning that we should be doing that maybe today's meeting has opened us up to actually taking those first steps in that planning. So thank you again.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. Hope to see you soon at our meetings. Just a couple announcements before we head you off to whatever the rest of your amazing day is going to look like. Tomorrow's Empower Hour at Roseville, the speaker is speaking on marketing basics for consistent cash flow. That's at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Same Zoom number, and I believe even the same password, yes. So please join us for that talk tomorrow, and more women to network with, more people to meet, right? So 6 p.m. tomorrow for that. And just quickly, I didn't announce it at the beginning, but Empower Hour, the nonprofit that we support through all of the activities is the Butterfly Element. And one of the activities that we are working on currently is these amazing ladies that you see on this video. Some of the women have chosen to contribute to a book, a compilation of essays and stories about who we are, how we got to where we got to, what we've overcome, the roads that we've traveled. That is available and for purchase, I believe, through Amazon on September 1st. Stephanie, nod. Yes, September 1st. Perfect. And all of the proceeds for that will go to the Butterfly Element. So please encourage your friends to pick up copies of that, and look to our Facebook page and the webpage, empowerhour.net, for more information on that. So pick up your copies, hand them out, make them Christmas gifts, make them birthday gifts, Halloween gifts, put them in the basket, give them to kids, all of the rest of that, right? So we want to get this out. We want to empower, encourage, inspire, and motivate other women in our communities. So hand them out like candy. Awesome. So any final comments, questions, things that you want to share from today, words of wisdom before we leave?
Thank you, Laura, for having us. It was
Awesome.
great. A very empowering hour. I needed that. And tomorrow, if you ladies who would like to join us, we'd love to have you at the Women's Business Network on Zoom at 11:30 to 12:30. I posted the Zoom in the chat box. And we are partnered with the Women's Empower Hour, so we love and we're privileged to have that. So thank you, Stephanie.
Awesome. I look around and I see faces that they bring smiles to my face. So thank you for being a part of my Wednesday, once a month. This is huge. I hope it's important and imperative for you to make this a part of a rock in your schedule. I know that I always get so much out of this time. So thank you to the faces I haven't seen in a while and to the new ones that I'm just getting to learn. And please join us next month. I'm going to check the date. I think it's September 19th, third of the month, third Wednesday of the month. I can't find that page. 17th? 16th. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. Outside of that, I wish you ladies an incredible rest of your day. Go forth, conquer, show yourself grace. Take care.
Amen. Thank you, Laura.
Bye, guys.
Bye.